If Israel didn't exist, would the United States have had to build one anyway? Hi guys, welcome back to the baseline. Thanks for joining me. So now, every time you turn on the news, there's Gaza, there's oil, another story about warships in the Red Sea. It's like deja vu. You can almost predict the headlines before they actually drop. Another crisis here, another crisis over there, another defense package, another speech about shared values and common interests. And somewhere deep down, you're thinking, this isn't just about Israel. It's about an empire. Now, Joe Biden actually said this not once, but 3 times, I think, in his career, that if Israel didn't exist, the United States would have to invent it. So that line isn't poetry. It's actually policy. It's the quiet admission that Israel isn't just an ally. It's an extension of American power, a forward base dressed in democracy's uniform. So what we're going to try to do is pull back the curtain on why Washington has protected Israel so fiercely for over 7 decades. And it's not out of morality, obviously, but out of strategy. So this isn't a foreign policy story, actually. It's actually an us story, a you story, and a me story, right? Because when the United States backs endless wars in the Middle East, we all end up paying for it in taxes, at the pump, in inflation, in your tax bill, in the quiet corrosion of truth. Now, your gas prices, your grocery bill, your student loan rate, they all trace back to one unspoken rule of this modern world, which is whoever controls energy and trade routes controls civilization. And that's why this story matters so much, because the fight over Israel is also the fight over the global choke points. We're talking about oil, shipping lanes, and information that decide who rules and who obeys. Now, back in 1986, when Biden first made that invent Israel comment, he called it the best $3 billion investment America ever made. And he wasn't joking, because that investment secured America a foothold in the strategic, or the most strategic neighborhood on earth, right? West Asia, where 30% of global trade passes through the Suez Canal, and 6 million barrels of oil flow daily through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait off of Yemen, right? Now, imagine the global economy as a set of arteries, right? We have the Suez Canal, that's the heart valve, the Red Sea, the jugular, and Israel, the armored shield guarding both. If oil is the blood of global capitalism, then the United States made sure it owned the stethoscope. So, if we go back a bit, right, and we look at World War II, Britain's empire was collapsing and Washington inherited the throne, right? But controlling the Middle East wasn't just about oil. It was about a certain type of leverage. In the 1970s, the United States had what it called the twin pillar strategy. Saudi Arabia on one side, Iran on the other, 2 obedient monarchs or monarchies keeping the region stable. Way back then, of course, right? Then came 1979. The Iranian Revolution flipped that script overnight. And one of America's pillars ended up crumbling, which obviously was Iran. Now, that's when Israel became more than a partner. It became the base. So think of it like a game of chess. When you lose your rook, you protect your queen. And Israel became Washington's queen, the most dangerous piece on the board, capable of striking anywhere in the region. That's why, from the Cold War to the War on Terror, Israel's role kept expanding and expanding, not just militarily, but economically as well. Now, the United States funds its defense tech, right? Israel tests it, then American contractors sell it to the rest of the world. It's war as a business model. And what's the justification for all this? Shared democratic values. Now, here's the twist. Even Even the United States military documents admit the real motive. Because in 1992, the National Security Council wrote that Washington's goal was to preclude any hostile power from dominating a region critical to the United States interests. So Europe, East Asia, Latin America, and yep, the Middle East. So what's the translation to all that? No one but us gets to run the world. Then came the 2000s and a new term, right? Full spectrum dominance. The Pentagon's dream of being able to control any situation or defeat any adversary across the range of operations, right? So in plain English, it's like this. If there's a pipeline, a port, or a price tag, America wants the ultimate veto. So what is the empire beneath the flag here? Because when people ask, why does Washington back Israel no matter what? The answer isn't religious guilt or cultural bonds. It's geostrategic. It's geostrategic insurance. Israel gives the United States something no other ally can: permanent military reach without direct occupation. An aircraft carrier made of concrete. Now, economist Michael Hudson, he calls Israel America's landed aircraft carrier in the Near East. Now, that metaphor says it all, right? A launch pad for influence, a fortress for sanctions, and a surveillance hub for 1/3 of the entire planet. Now, here's what's crazy. As US dominance is weakening, right, Israeli importance starts to grow. Why? Because the rest of the world stopped waiting for Washington's permission. China built its Belt and Road Initiative highways. They built highways and railways linking Asia, Africa, and Europe. Now, Russia ended up teaming up with Saudi Arabia through OPEC, or OPEC Plus, deciding oil prices without asking Washington first. So that erodes at United States dominance. And now China, not America, is the largest buyer of Gulf oil. That means the old energy leash Washington used to control the world with, it's starting to snap. So if you can't control the oil directly, you control the gates. And that's what this moment is about. The US is losing its grip on the producers. So it's tightening up its grip on the choke points itself. And Israel sits right between them. So if we pause for a moment and take a breath, is this as dark as it sounds? Or is it a moment of clarity? Because empires do repeat themselves, right? Rome used religion to justify conquest. Britain used civilization. And now Washington uses democracy. But history always ends the same way. People wake up. And that's what it looks like it's heading towards now. So what do you guys think? Do I have this all right? Do I have it all wrong? Let me know in the comment section below. I value your guys' opinion, and I read and reply to all the comments. So thank you so much for joining me here on The Baseline, and we'll catch you the next round. Okay, cheers, everybody.